Welcome to a very special episode of Gamesoverplastic. This is an ongoing series in which we've been reviewing The Last of Us Season 2, and this is the finale episode. So if you've been joining us, thank you so much. Today, I am joined, as always, by one of my co-hosts, Hodge. Hodge, how are you?
I'm good. I am back in the north. I'm back from Florida, so just finished this episode, and I have thoughts, but we will get into it. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Midnight is having major internet issues on this Memorial Day here in America. His internet is unfortunately out, which means because it's Memorial Day, it's very unlikely that he will get it back today, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Um, because not a lot of people have work today, unfortunately. Well, or fortunately, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
So we am also joined by Lockmort. Lock, how you doing, bud?
Hello, sir. Always nice to see you guys. Yeah, starting to turn into me filling in whenever one of you guys get sick or drunk or hangover or death or whatever. But always happy to see you guys. Always happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you're here. So before we get into the episode, though, again, this is if you're watching on YouTube, this is also an audio format on podcasts. Wherever you listen, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, really wherever you get podcasts. Please like and subscribe. That'd be nice. Leave us comments, leave us reviews. Our mainline episodes go up every other Saturday. We record every other Saturday. They go up every other Monday. But honestly, we do so many DLCs now. It's like basically you're looking at like basically almost like 3 or 4 episodes a month, almost basically.
Usually,
So, yeah. Well, we're gonna get into the season finale. Before we dive into the episode, though, let's get our overall thoughts on the entire season in general, on how we thought the finale did. The finale do it justice? Did it save it? Did it make it worse? Hodge, let's start with you.
Well, before me, I'm gonna read what Midnight wrote because he couldn't join us, so he gave me bullet points of his thoughts on this episode and the season as a whole. So he said, "Good episode overall. It's a pepperoni on the scale from anchovies to bacon." And he said the season was a big downgrade over season 1. Horrible casting on Bella. Horrible. When the shirt off scene happened, he was praying to God, please don't show it. Usually the opposite of how he is when a woman takes her shirt off. The cliffhanger ending was good, although it's obvious she's not dead, which we'll get to. And then he's not excited about season 3 basically starting over, but with Abby, which was actually how I felt in the game. So I understand that that feeling. But those are Midnight's thoughts. But my thoughts were the season overall. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Surprisingly, well, because I said this before. I don't know if I said this to you, Locke, but the first 10 hours of The Last of Us Part 2, other than the bigot sandwich part at the beginning, I can't stand that, and I don't like Dina. But other than that, the first 10 hours, I loved the game. I thought it was on par with the first Last of Us game. I thought it was fantastic playing as Ellie going through Seattle and doing everything. It was when it does what they're going to do with season 3, where it just is like, all right, back to the future or back to the beginning, but with a new thing. That's kind of when the game went downhill for me a little bit. But so I enjoyed that part of the game, which is why this season, for as critical as I am of the game, this was a step down from the game. It was good. Again, Bella, horrible casting. She did not act very well in this finale at all. Like I've seen moments of her in this season where I was like, oh, maybe she's got it, but this not at all. The season overall stepped down. It definitely is a step down from the first season of the show, even though thankfully they didn't do any Bill doesn't make sense why it's included type episode. But yeah, overall I liked it. Worse than the game though, but still quality, especially for people if they've never played the game. It's obviously just a new show to them. It would be the same as me saying like, well, I read the Game of Thrones books and the show's not as like, it'd basically be the same thing as, but I never read it, obviously. But and the finale, actually I thought it was really weak. We'll get into it of course, but overall season it was decent. It was pretty good, but yeah.
All right. Locke, what about you?
Well, it's tough because you're not allowed to say that Bella Ramsey is bad because people get upset, and then you're just not allowed to be mean to a little girl, I guess. But I think she ruined The Last of Us, to be honest. It cemented it in this episode for me because the episode itself was pretty good to me because the exact same things that happened in the game, or almost the exact same things, happened in this episode. There wasn't a whole lot of changes, but the reason it wasn't good to me was because of Bella Ramsey, or because of Ellie. I think this Ellie is an asshole and an idiot, and I don't want my Ellie to be an asshole and an idiot. So I thought the season overall, I think they added a couple of really great scenes, like Eugene. I love that scene. I thought
Yes.
that was great. Great acting too. I thought Pedro Pascal was awesome. I even think Tommy is pretty good when you see him. Jesse is awesome. I like that actor a lot. I love the way he portrayed him. Like Dina a lot. But Ellie is just it's awful, awful. But yeah, I thought the season was okay. I thought the finale was okay. Could have been better. It's a bit of a shame, I think.
Yeah.
My thoughts. The finale was okay. I didn't think it was the best. It's not nowhere near like the best episode, but it's not near the worst for me. But I totally agree with you guys about Bella being could potentially have ruined the season. Like I know she is Ellie, video game Ellie, and season 2 Ellie are so different. Like she is so much weaker. She is so much more like bratty in this game. um that taste for vengeance is there sometimes but not always there, and in the game it was so much more prevalent. Like she's like, I'm on a mission to do this, whereas in this game it was like, in the season it was like not there. And then so when they do go there, like the part with my gosh, why am I forgetting her? Nora.
Nora?
Yeah, Nora. Like that part, like it's kind of out of, like if you're just watching the show, it's kind of out of character because you're like,
Mhm.
where is this coming from? Whereas in the game, it's like, oh, this totally fits. I think Dina and Jesse, show Dina and Jesse are so much better than game Dina and Jesse. They do a great job. It was almost like the show was centered around Dina rather than Ellie, which was
Yeah.
kind of weird to me,
Yeah.
considering she's a main character, but she's not like the main character. Um, but I totally agree with you about the Bella Ramsey. Also, the only thing I really didn't like, they made like one subtle change to this finale, like in the game. They had Ellie go to the Seraphites Island, the Scars Island,
Mm.
which wasn't in the game, and they have her hanging for like 20 seconds, and then she just gets out of it. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why include that?
Yeah,
I
very
feel
weird.
like they only did it to, I mean, I guess we can get into it later when we get to that scene, but yeah, that was so weird.
But I will give you the reaction from a non-video game player. So someone who has not played the first game or the second game. From my mom. She loved the season. She thought it was great. She thinks Ellie's dead. She thinks they're all dead other than, and she's like, oh my gosh, now we're going to go back to Abby. And she thinks this is going to be like Abby's side of the story and then it's going to end. But she is excited. I am excited for season 3 though. I like Abby as a character. I thought that part of the game was really strong. I know, very divisive amongst the community. So I am looking forward to it. But again, we're gonna have to wait till probably like 2027. So I mean, which kind of stinks.
I will say of the
Yeah.
Abbey section that it's honestly one of my favorite parts of the entire game is the hotel section, and I hope they do that justice in season 3 because that scene. But it's in the episode actually. You can see in the distance, you see the hotel with the downed thing, and I was like, oh, there it is, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, point meme.
Yeah. I also love when that whole Abby section at the end was kind of like almost like a 1-for-1 shot of the game when she walks out and it pans out and it's like the Seahawks football stadium where they all are.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I love that scene.
Yeah. Though I will say at the end of the I mean, I guess we can also just get into it, but I was gonna say it was the third episode in a row where it ended with basically the opening scene of the next episode, and it was so weird to me because like it was the thing of she beats the shit out of Nora. She says in this episode she didn't actually kill her, so she just beat the living shit out of her and left her there to turn, and then it cuts to her waking up and Joel's like, hey kiddo, and then the next episode it's the Joel episode, and then it ends with her back at the theater, and it's just like, and so this one it cuts to black. I thought that was the end of the episode, and then it's just like all of a sudden day 1 Seattle, there's Abby. I'm like, why are they doing that? Like every episode is ended with the beginning of the next episode, and it's, I don't know, it doesn't feel natural to me to have that, but I don't know, that might just be me.
to me, it feels like an HBO show made by HBO fans, but not by actually HBO people. That's what it feels like to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, I
I can
agree.
understand what you're saying. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
well, let's
should we
get
just
into
get into
the
it?
episode. Yeah, let's get into it right away. So, episode starts out. We get Jesse pulling the arrow out of Dina's leg. He presses R1, gets that arrow out, and Jesse's kind of freaking out because obviously he still loves Dina, and he's rubbing the alcohol on her, and then he offers Dina a drink, and she does not take it, and then that obviously brings red flags to Jesse right away. Um, yeah.
Yeah. But before that, it opens with just showing the walkie-talkie on the table, and you can hear Abby talking on it. So it's
Oh
kind of
yeah,
this
yeah,
thing of like they're ignoring the fact that the person that they're looking for is actually actively on the micro or the headset or whatever, and they're not paying attention because obviously they're doing the arrow thing. But yeah, I thought that scene was was done fairly well. Of just because she just gets sidelined because she's pregnant, right? She never gets hurt in the game, right?
Later on, I guess. No,
yeah.
even
Later on,
earlier.
she
Yeah,
does when
Oh,
Abby
does
comes
she?
back to the theater,
yeah,
but not before
Oh,
that.
that's
Yeah, she's
right.
sidelined because she's pregnant.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Overall, I
Yeah,
thought
and
it was a
then
decent scene, though.
yeah, Ellie comes back to the theater. They talk about where they've been. Ellie kind of reveals. She goes in and she's kind of all messed up, and She goes and sees Dina in the dressing room, and Dina starts cleaning her, which is very interesting because she notices that she's all beat up. Takes her shirt off, obviously, and Dina starts giving her a little sponge bath, cleaning up those scars. I thought this was all right. I mean, we get more. I mean, we get a little bit of backstory about like what Ellie actually did to Nora. She said it was easy to torture Nora, easier than she thought. She also reveals to Dina what Joel did in Salt Lake City, and that's exactly why this is happening.
Yeah.
Th-
What do you think,
this,
Locke, of
well,
this?
the scene is beautiful in the game where Ellie tells Dina what she did to Nora. It's a beautiful scene in the game, but here it just doesn't work at all. Um, Dina's awesome and Dina's acting really well, but when Bella Ramsey tells her that she made her talk, I almost laughed out loud. Like it doesn't make any sense. I did like the scene. That's the same scene where she tells Dina what Joel actually did, and you can see
Yeah,
Dina change her mind. Like, okay, we're gonna go home now. Like this is all
yeah.
pointless. What are we doing here? I did like that, but again, because Dina's actress is a great actress, so that part resonated well with me.
Yeah, and it's funny. She says I made her talk, but then later on she reveals, "Well, I don't really know where Abby is. I got two words out of her:
Yeah.
whale, and what was it? Whale and like
Wheel
building.
and Will,
Yeah,
Wheel and Will, yeah,
yeah. It's like, well, did you actually make her talk or no? It's like, no, you didn't. Which is interesting. But yeah, we definitely see that in Dina's eyes. Like she changed. She's like, all right, we definitely need to like get the heck out of here now. So then Ellie and Jesse basically decide that they're going to go out. They're going to go to the rendezvous point with Tommy. And they leave. They obviously leave Dina behind. Um, Jesse and Ellie are talking. We finally get the reveal, Hodge. You got your reveal about how Jesse actually found him. So it wasn't just like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't want to write it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
exactly.
get that. How they tailed them. They saw the WLFL sign, and they figured they'd be somewhere around there. On their way, they're talking about Jesse kind of guesses that she's pregnant. I thought Bella did a terrible job with this as well.
Oh my
Um,
god.
wait,
Oh,
you
oh,
wait, you were guessing? It's like, yeah, no crap. Like you put two and two
yeah.
together. Like obviously.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I didn't really like that.
no, yeah. Well, because the way, and I don't know. I mean, like I like the Jesse actor, but like it didn't seem like he was acting that well in that scene either. Because he's just like, I've never seen her turn down a free drink. She's pregnant, isn't she? And it's like, so I just assumed like he knew, and that's what he's saying. But then Bella
Yeah,
does like, oh, you were guessing. I'm like, was he? I thought he just knew, but
yeah.
apparently now he's just guessing. Like, what is? I just thought that scene was done really poorly overall, if I'm being honest.
But he's also like a grown ass man at this point, talking to like a what seems like a 10-year-old girl almost. So there's no equal, equality here at all whatsoever. Like you're supposed to believe that these two are like equal level, but they're not.
Yeah,
Like they're
it
just
is
not.
true. Yeah, he's like the adult in this situation scolding a teenager. And it's
Yeah,
just like, yeah, I didn't even think about that until you just said that. Cause yeah, in the game, they are just, Ellie is like the Abby of the group where she is
yeah,
like in charge basically. And in this,
yeah.
she's just a
Yeah.
dumb shit teenager. Yeah.
Yeah, so then we get to the rendezvous point, the bookstore. Obviously Tommy's not there. And Tommy and Jesse and Ellie kind of get into not like an argument, but they kind of get into an argument about like
Well, it's
what.
because
Go
Well,
on.
no, you skipped over. They hide behind a dumpster, and the wolves chase the Scar into the
Oh yeah,
thing,
my bad. Yeah.
which is also why they argued because Ellie wanted to go save the guy, and Jesse's like, "No, this isn't our fight. Two, there's four of them, so it's like stop being stupid, kind of thing."
Yeah, we need to get to Tommy. So when they get there, they talk about how like everything's got a moral only if you find it. He admits that he loves Dina, but not the way Ellie does. And then he talks about how he fell in love with that girl for those 2 weeks, and that he didn't want to. He wanted to go, but he couldn't abandon the community that raised him. I thought this was pretty good. I think this was pretty. It kind of just goes to show what kind of person Jesse is. He's all about the community. Kind of backs up his actions. But then Ellie kind of takes it the wrong way. Oh, so you're Saint Jesse of Wyoming, and everyone else is a effing asshole. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't need to say that, Ellie. I mean, Abby. I mean, Ellie. Yeah.
You're right the first time. Yeah, and the whole like her looking for a book for the baby, I'm just like, come on. Like, I don't know. I don't remember if that happened in the game or not, but
Yeah.
it's just
No,
the more of the thing. Like, I'm gonna be a dad. I'm like, stop, just stop. What do you think, Locke?
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat myself a lot of times this episode, I think, but like you said, Hodge, it's not. Anytime Bella Ramsey is on screen, I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
Like when you said, when she goes through that book, if you have like Game Ellie do that, it's meaningful because she likes comic books and stuff. But this Ellie is just like fuck off. Like,
Well, yeah, it's like I said, is like Ellie and Dina's relationship in the game. It felt more natural, like more
Yeah,
realistic.
much
Whereas
more
in this,
organic.
yeah,
yeah, whereas in this, Bella Ramsey's Ellie is like a starstruck schoolgirl. Like it doesn't seem like a relationship. It seems like she's a little puppy dog following Dina around everywhere. And it's just like it doesn't work at all in this show, I don't think. And yeah, I just don't buy it at all.
I did find the actor playing Jesse. I forgot his name, but I thought he did great here in this scene
Yeah.
where he explains to her that he loves Dina, but not in the way she does. I thought it was a really great story and pretty realistic too, because that's what happens most or a lot of times where you accidentally get someone pregnant. And I guess you have to stick with them. But I thought it was pretty great. I thought that actor did a phenomenal job the whole episode. Really, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they continue going, and they hear the radio on WLF, and they find that it's a sniper, and they're like, oh, it's definitely Tommy. He's holding them off. But then Ellie sees in the distance, she sees the whale and the wheel, so she puts two and two together that Abby has to be there. So Ellie's like, oh, I'm going to get Abby, and Jesse, you're going to come with me. And he's like, well, we need to go save Tommy. Well, Tommy's got it covered. Don't worry. Tommy's got it covered. What if more? They call him for backup. No, Tommy's got it covered. And then we get into like more of the argument here where we find out that Jesse actually voted no because it was not in the best interest of the community. And this kind of really pisses off Ellie.
Yeah, I was really curious if they were going to bring up the vote thing, because that's what I remember. I think in our episode we did say that we're like, I think like they voted no. I don't think Ellie just assumes they're the ones that voted yes. I think they're the ones, and we were right. That he voted no. And this was another episode where Bella Ramsey was terrible. I could not stand her in this scene. She was like, when she does like the fuck the community, I'm like, what? It's like, one, you're screaming again in the middle of town when there's people trying to kill you, but two, just you're a horrible actress. This is terrible. This is not
Yeah,
working very well.
in the line, "You let a kid die today." It's like, all right, well, I mean, okay, you let kids die with Joel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, and she did not say the easy like layup line like, "Oh well, Joel is my community." She never actually says that. She infers it, but she doesn't say it. That was a layup. Like, come on, that was a layup. Just say it. Joel was my community.
Yeah.
I'm so shocked they didn't say that. That was like pitch perfect to say that, and she didn't.
I think the show also made another mistake here, which it does often in regard to this, is that they immediately label Tommy as a sniper. In the game, it's such a cool moment where you realize Tommy's the sniper. And it would have been so cool next season to have this sniper scene play out, not knowing it's Tommy, and then seeing it's Tommy in that season. But now we already know. So, well, I mean, we already knew, of course, because we played the game. But next
Yeah.
season, if you like the whole stuff with Isaac too, there were a whole lot of scenes here with Isaac that were kind of meaningless if you don't know anything about the games, I presume. Like, where were they going? What the hell were they doing? Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't get
because they're
explained.
going to the Seraphites Island, but
Yeah,
like you don't know that.
yeah.
They're just out on these boats.
Yeah.
So I don't get why they did that. But it seems to me that this whole season seems to me like it would have worked so much better if it was just one big season of 14 episodes and all the scenes were next to each other. Like, kind of the opposite of what they did with the game. Like, just mix the Ellie and Abby scenes.
You
And
could have
then,
even done it like an episode day one Seattle Ellie, and then the next episode
Yeah.
day one Abby.
yeah. Because right now, if you haven't seen, well, Sean, your mom probably thinks this. I don't know. If you haven't played the games, who the hell is this Isaac character?
Yeah, she was very kerfuddled about like they introduced him and then he like was barely in it again and then all of a sudden he pops up again and
Yeah.
she had no like when the boats all came and they were sailing out she's like what's going on, like where are they going? She
Yeah.
kind of put two and two together. They must be going somewhere with the scars because there's a battle going on, but she is still so lost on like why is this battle even going on.
And then imagine you have to wait 2 years now.
That's what we were
Yeah.
saying. We were talking about that after like, well, now we're gonna wait till 2027 for this.
Yeah, like I really do think that they should have, because like if you want to think of another show that perfects like timelines happening at the same time, Game of Thrones had like 6 timelines happening at the exact same time, and you were able to follow each one so well that I really thought that's what they do with this, especially with being an HBO show, because obviously Game of Thrones is on HBO. Like I really thought that's what they're going to do, but instead they're doing 3 days back to the start, 3 days, and then whatever they're going to do after that, who knows what they'll do with the...
Yeah. And I was actually even saying this earlier. I was like, well, if they were going to do it like this, they should have even done it like season 2A, season 2B with like a couple months in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have done that easily, like the Netflix kind of release schedule as they do now, where they release chunks each month or something. Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, they should have done something like that.
I said this to Locke off air, but I'll say it here. Since HBO and Discovery like basically merged together, the production timelines for these shows have been awful.
Yeah.
Like so bad. Like there's no reason we should be waiting almost 2 years between shows. Like there's no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think while I was trying to get my fucking microphone working, I heard you guys say something like they should have shot it back to back. That's what they should have done. That they should have shot these 2 scenes and then had maybe a couple months or something. Because I mean, shows used to always do the mid season breaks and stuff like that. I remember The Walking Dead was famous for it. It would be really cool opening, really boring, and then good mid season finale, good mid season premiere, really boring, and then good finale. That's what every season. And so it's like they could have done. Obviously made it better, but they could have done the mid-season finales for this, and that's what they should have done. But HBO, of course, the first season was such a hit that they're going to want to drag this on for 10 years. But like even Craig Mazin says they need a 4th season. I'm like, do you?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like quickly before we move on, we skipped over. There was just the scene where the one wolf lady goes in and talks to Isaac, and he's
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Well, it is revealed to the audience. I thought this was a good way to reveal the audience that like Abby is like MIA.
Yes.
Basically, they have no idea where she is because they're like, well, some of our best people are MIA because they don't know what happened to Nora, and now they're like, well, Abby's missing. But then it was kind of weird. She's like, well, what are you obsessed with Abby? Like,
Yeah.
She's like, no, she's like our best. She's like our best fighter, so she's gonna be like in charge when we inevitably die because we're in this war.
Yeah, what I'm wondering with that comment, my first thought was, I don't know if this is accurate or not, and I don't want to spoil anything about who the Seraphites are because obviously they're still pretty unknown. But I wonder if she was kind of making a Seraphite comment towards them because they do have some of these weird rituals, to say the least. So I'm wondering if she was kind of making a comment like that to him, or at the same time, it was just some weirdly poorly written "Are you a pedophile?" kind of joke, like writing. I don't know what it was, but yeah, that comment felt really weird to me.
Yeah. Like I said, like some of it was strong. Like the reveal of Abby not being there was pretty good. You get and just like the
Yeah.
side. It's one of those things you have to listen for. Like you could easily miss it. But I thought that was good. Locke, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought that was great. I think this is also is this also the scene? There's one scene where you see like a mural of the prophet.
Oh, that was earlier when Ellie and Jesse are walking.
Did you notice what they did? I thought this was really weird. Did you notice what they
No.
did to
No.
her? I don't know why, but they race swapped her. So she in the game she's white, but here the prophet is black. But she's
Didn't even notice it. Holy crap.
dead. So I don't get why they did that. Like that, unless maybe she isn't dead in the or no, she's dead in the show too, right? Because they comment on it a couple of
could've
Well, I know
sworn-
Ellie makes a comment like, "Is there multiple prophets?" So maybe there was like another
Oh.
interpretation of a white one up there somewhere.
Okay.
Well, because I could have sworn they had one early in an earlier episode, and it wasn't a black lady.
That's what
But
I thought
maybe-
too. Yeah.
Maybe that's why Ellie says what. That kind of explains why Ellie would say, "What are there multiple then?"
Oh,
She
okay.
makes a comment that there are multiple prophets. Jesse's like,
Cool.
"I don't freaking know."
Oh well, that's cool. So maybe they're gonna do something with that then, because that really struck me as odd, but that makes sense now. That's cool. I hope they do that. I hope they have multiple.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to expand, like, add more to the Seraphites, because they
Yeah.
aren't really that fleshed out in the game. They're just kind of known as the crazy cult. So who knows
Yeah.
what they'll do with them in the next season. But
Did you
yeah.
also notice the guy, one of the wolves, attacking like cornering the Seraphite in the basement? Is that same guy who was from Isaac's crew, like
Yes.
the guy from the
Yeah.
van? Huh.
Yeah, that like I said in that episode, that was one of my favorite things, is seeing how he went from like the nervous, like, why are we doing this kind of soldier, to like the one who's just treating them like animals. Like,
Yes.
I thought that was so well, because it was we talked about it. It's basically like, we're supposed to be the good guys. Why are we treating these people like animals? And now he's on the team that now they have power. They're treating people like animals. And I thought that character kind of arc is really, really well written.
I think.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
I think Colin brought this up on their on the LSM spoiler cast, but he thinks that guy is gonna turn out to be the guy that Owen kills, which would make sense.
Ooh, okay.
Because
That's
at some
interesting.
point in the game, Owen kills one of the wolves, and that's why he heads off on his own, and Abby has to find him, or Isaac sends Abby to find him. And that Colin seems to think that that's the guy that he kills, which
That
would
could
make
be
sense.
it. No, that's a good theory.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And going on, I think I do think season 3 will expand on the Seraphites. I think we're gonna get a whole episode on like their culture, similar to like the flashback episode or the Bill episode. It's gonna be like something like that.
Well, I'm sure
With
we'll get
two
it back. Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say with the two characters that we will meet in season 3.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They're probably gonna do something with Lev, who is the name, but obviously we're not gonna spoil who they are. But yeah, I could definitely see that.
What do you guys think about Pedro Pascal? Like the whole flashback episode being one episode and not having those flashbacks throughout the season.
I think
it
I
was
said
definitely
this.
cheaper. It was definitely cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said, is that now it's a guarantee he's not coming back next season, because now he's in the Fantastic Four and Doomsday and every other goddamn movie coming out. So, and Mandalorian and Grogu and everything. So, I think they just had to get his scenes out of the way, which is why they did it. But I did say I thought it was pretty weak, because that porch episode is basically the end of the game, and the fact that they put it in that, like, the episode, it was my favorite episode of the season. I will say that. But it did, because it was kind of cool seeing like over the birthdays how they kind of grew apart, kind of thing. I liked it, but yeah, I didn't like that they basically took every good Joel moment that was in part 2 and just crammed it into one episode. I thought that was not great.
What they should have done is they should have just filmed it and then just dispersed it throughout the episodes. Like film it all at once and then just slowly put it in.
Well, like you said, he probably gets paid per episode.
Per episode, yeah.
So that's probably why they did it. But you'll probably see that porch scene a bunch more times over the years, I presume. You'll still see that same scene in 3 years' time, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna continue. So we get that talk, and then it cuts back to Ellie. She sees like the boats over to the aquarium. She goes over there. She sees all the wolves gearing up. We see Isaac and all his boys going out on the boats. They're going to that Seraphite Island, which if as a viewer you have no idea where they're going. You're like, what's going on here? Ellie gets on her boat. She gets brushed away by the water, gets taken down, and then she ends up on the island. And when she washes up on the shore, a little child Seraphite sees her, and then he runs off. And pretty much put two and two together. He's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, there's a wolf here."
Yeah.
And then they come, they take her, and then they're dragging her. She's struggling. They're gonna hang her. She's on the rope for about maybe 10, 20 seconds, and then they hear the gunfire coming, and all of the Seraphites go, "Leave her!" And they leave her, and they run away to go help their crowd.
Why
really
leave
weird
her?
scene.
Why not shoot her? That's so weird. Why leave her? That doesn't make
Put an
any
arrow
sense.
in her head.
Yeah, just kill her. So it's quicker than letting the rope go. Like,
well, that and the fact that all they would have done was pull what you saw what they did to the other wolf. They pulled the rope, they disembowel him. That's all they would have had to do to her. It would have taken 2 seconds, but obviously plot armor, they can't kill her.
It's weird because this is not in the game. This is a really weird scene to add.
It wasn't good.
I thought they were gonna substitute the Abby scene with this one.
It looked like the Abby scene that you like that first one of the first trailers we got, and I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, but you know that scene is coming up because later when we see Abby, she has
rope marks.
Yeah, she has burns on her neck. Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah,
so
it was
very weird.
It was like they just had to justify having the Seraphites in the show more. Like that's what it felt like. It was just like, remember, these people are terrifying. Look what they're going to do to anyone who's not a Seraphite, kind of thing.
I also think it was trying to shoehorn in, like, oh, this is where the wolves went. They went to this island where the Seraphites are. It was just to show the audience, but like you could have done that in a much better way.
Well, yeah, because when she's driving away from the island, you see the explosions, which means that the wolves have attacked and all that. So, yeah, I think it was really also, like you said, to tie it. Because otherwise, she would have been in the boat and there would have been actually, I think it would have been better if she's on the boat driving there and she looks over, sees explosions happening on the island, that she doesn't understand what it is. It's a good tease for the next season to be like, what the hell's going on over there? But
or even if they just gave us a scene of the wolves arriving there.
Yeah,
like when they take off on the boat and just have them arriving, like they could have done that much better than this like 30 2-minute segment.
Yeah, or have them on a boat approaching the island and they pass by the Seraphite logo or something to like show like, oh, they're entering Seraphite territory. Like, yeah, they could have, but yeah, having this scene where she almost dies by the Seraphites, because did she even meet the Seraphites in the game? Like,
she gets shot by them at some point.
Yeah,
remember the arrow last episode?
But she doesn't.
Oh, that's right.
She does. Island. She doesn't go to their island.
That's right. Yeah, because she does sneak around them. That's right.
Maybe this scene is in here because it comes back and somebody's like looking at her from the bushes or so. It reminded me of Lost. This scene. I don't know if you guys ever seen Lost.
But... Lost is my favorite show of all time.
Oh well, scenes like this happened a lot in Lost. When something like this happened and then 2 seasons later, you see it from a different perspective, and somebody was looking at this from the bushes. That's what this reminded me of. So maybe this comes back, and somebody's looking at them. Maybe Lev or somebody, or probably not.
Could be, yeah. No, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see in 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, so then it goes back to Ellie. Ellie arrives at the aquarium, and she is sneaking around the aquarium. We hear voices. She's walking through, and it's revealed that it is Mel and Owen are there, and they are obviously. Yep.
I was gonna say, can I say really quick before she gets to the aquarium, it shows her driving across the water, and that was some of the worst fucking CGI I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, there's the scene where it zooms out from her, shows the city in the background, and it looked terrible. It looked like so bad.
Looked like Sin City, like the movie Sin City.
Yeah, kind of, except much worse because I like that movie. But yeah, so yeah, she gets there and it's Mel and Owen.
And they're talking, and they're obviously talking about they know where Abby is. She tries to pull the trick that Joel taught her in season 1, which I think the game did a great job with it. They totally botched it here. Where she's like, you're both going to tell me where they are. You're going to point, and then you're going to tell me. She learned that from Joel back in. They do that in season 1 and in the first game.
Best
in the game. What?
It's one of the best moments in that first game. That scene where he tortures those two dudes. That's
And
one of the best.
you know what?
Scenes.
You know what the best part is? I've used that on students. I go, "You're gonna tell me what happened in this room," and then I'll call another student. And I go, "Hey, I just asked him. Your stories better match up about what just happened in this classroom." I've used that and it works. I'm telling you, it works.
Hell yeah,
It's great.
that's
Used
awesome.
it. Thanks, Joel. But in the game, they actually fulfill it. Like the characters actually go out and she gets it from both of them. And this Owen's like, "No, I'll do it." Um, and it felt very rushed and very quick.
Well, in the game, it's even better because it happens earlier in the game as well when they find the two bodies in the hotel room. Remember when Tommy did this to two people too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest complaints about this season was I like that they did do the Tommy sniper thing, even though obviously the game did it better. But I didn't like that they changed up Tommy to where he wasn't there. Like I liked in the game how they followed like, oh, here's the destruction of Tommy, like just finding a bunch of corpses and stuff. Like that was so good, and they demoted Tommy in this season. It made me sad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So then Owen basically, Ellie thinks he's about to like pull a gun. Ellie shoots.
he does pull a
And
gun.
oh yeah, well, okay. I couldn't tell if he actually did.
Yeah, he went to grab a
that was
gun.
really bad.
Yeah.
Ellie shoots. The bullet kind of grazes Owen's like neck, and then it also grazes Mel's neck, and because we see it in the background in the
Mhm.
like
It
that
like hits the
locker.
wall behind him. Yeah,
Like the
locker or
locker, yeah.
panel board,
And
whatever it was. Yeah.
Owen basically dies, and then Mel reveals she's pregnant. She's like, "Ellie, you need to cut the baby out of my stomach right now." And she's trying to give her directions, but Ellie can't do it. And then we just see the defeated look in Ellie. Actually, I thought this part was pretty good, where you
Yeah.
see the defeat in her because she kind of recognizes, oh my gosh, I just killed a pregnant woman, and I'm trying to protect like someone who's pregnant. I'm bringing someone into the world.
Yeah.
Well, I like Mel a lot here. I don't like her in the game, but here I thought she did great because you can see she's like completely panicking and in shock, and then she tells Ellie like, "Oh, you're doing a good job," but she's not doing anything. Like she's not cutting into her.
Well, yeah, because in the game, doesn't she just die? Like in
Yeah.
this, I like that she has that motherly instinct of like, save my baby, please.
Yeah.
Like that was really good. I did like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the game, she gets shot and she goes, like, she basically slowly reveals I'm pregnant. And then you can see it on Ellie's face go, like, almost like ghost white, like, holy crap, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what really annoys me about this scene? And they did it before too in the scene where Joel dies. Both those scenes, this scene with Owen and Mel, and there's some other people there too, I guess, in the game. When they die, it's in like this beautiful big room and in beautiful lighting, and it's like blue lighting coming from above. And in the scene where Joel dies too, it's in the cellar and he dies against a window, remember, with like the beautiful light coming through.
Yeah, it's like a garage door or something like that.
Yeah, and they made it look so bland here, like just in a dark room with like nothing.
Yeah, it was
the
like
art
a
direction-
side room. It's almost like the employee locker room.
No, it was like it was like a mechanical room. It was like panel boards and shit like that. Yeah, it was like I agree with that. Like for this show does so well of making like the settings look good and everything, but yeah, then these big scenes happen and they're like the Nora one was like 1-for-1. That one looked awesome. That one looked really good. But yeah, this one and yeah, I said the same thing about the Joel one where it's like they're up in like the lit up just living room basically, and it's just like no, it was so much better. It was so much. Yeah, those two scenes were way better in the game.
It fit the tone better when it was in the darker section underneath.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so then we get that, and then basically, we get to Ellie going back to the theater.
Oh wait,
no, oh no, Tommy. Does Tommy run it? Yeah, Tommy and Jesse run into the aquarium.
Tommy gets better, but I was gonna say before that we get to that, they took out the dog scene, so we're not gonna get
the dog scenes. Yeah.
We're not gonna get the dog in the next season. So I was like, I was very curious if they're gonna do that because I remember that part from the game, and I was like, are they gonna do it? And then nope, they did not have the dog.
I wonder if the dog's back in Jackson. So
yeah, I want. Yeah, God, that was weird. But I wonder if they did it because they just like can't justify Bella Ramsey being strong enough to kill a German Shepherd.
I also don't think they want, is it PETA or PETA? I never know.
PETA.
I don't think they want PETA on their case because they'll jump on anything. And I'm not gonna lie, PETA in Seattle is pretty bad. When I went to Seattle, they were a protest every single day by PETA. Like I remember like walking down the street and just seeing every single day outside some store the PETA people. It was wild.
That'd be funny if in the show, it was the wolves, the Seraphites, and PETA. They're all fighting each other.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really bad in Seattle there. All right, so then we get Tommy. Tommy comes in and Jesse's with him, right? Yeah, they rescue Ellie. They go back to the theater. Ellie thanks them for coming back together. For being a good person. They kind of have a little truce, and then they're in the other sec. Go on.
No, you go. Sorry. Go.
I was gonna say they're in the other room, and all of a sudden they hear the door open. They run. They're running with the gun. We saw that in the scenes, and then they open it up. Tommy's sitting there. He's basically shot. In the game, he gets shot in the eye.
But that happens a little bit later. Like right at this point, they just have him on his knees.
Yeah,
like they haven't shot him yet.
Oh,
He's just there on the floor. Yeah. He gets shot in the eye practically 1 minute later. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Abby is there. Ellie and Jesse are there. Jesse gets shot, and then Ellie throws her gun and says, "You want me? Let them go." And then Jesse gets shot, and then she shoots, and it fades to black.
It's Well, quickly, I liked the scene before Tommy went back out to the lobby where it's showing that Tommy still has the rage that he has in the game, where he's basically like, she feels bad about Mel, and he goes, "Well, she was there," like basically saying like, "You were right to kill her," kind of thing. And but it was. Yeah, he goes to the lobby, and then they hear, whatever happening, and they run out there. And it's as they open the door that Abby, out of basically instinct, just shoots Jesse in the face. It's like immediate that he just drops immediately. But here's where I just really love Caitlin Dever over, Hulk from the game, where she's so good and she's like, "I let you live," and it's like, it's so well done. And then what she says, and you wasted it,
and you
or something
wasted
like
it.
that.
And you wasted it.
Oh man, it's so good. But no, in the game, he's like on his knees, and then you see him shoot, or you see her shoot him in the head, and which I guess, I don't know if that's. I guess he's just on the ground so maybe they didn't want to do another headshot or something. I don't know what they did, but they didn't show that he's dead. So who knows what his fate in this is going to be compared to the games. But
they're not going to kill him because I think they need him.
He's a fan favorite,
I'm wondering.
So.
Well, obviously he's needed for the plot, but I'm wondering if they even wanted to imply that he died in this, because obviously they're leaving the whole Jon Snow, is he dead or not kind of ending of this, even though obviously Ellie's not dead. That would be stupid.
My mom thinks she's dead.
Oh, does she really?
My mom thinks everyone there is dead, that Abby went on rage, and we're just going to go back and see it from Abby's perspective, and then the show will be over. That's what she thinks.
I was honestly expecting this scene to end by her, instead of her shooting Abby or Ellie, I thought it was going to end with her shooting Tommy, and to have that kind of cliffhanger. But
I think that would be a much more powerful cliffhanger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then you're up in well, now the audience is, a lot of people are thinking that Ellie's dead if you've not played the games, and then if you got that, we'd be very ambiguous. But I have a feeling a lot of people who are just watching the show, they might look up to see, like, in the game, like, oh my gosh, is Ellie actually dead? I have a feeling some people, especially if it's a 2-year wait, some people might not be able to wait.
Yeah.
Well, it's also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're. I'm just muttering.
I was gonna say that it's also like a bad cliffhanger here, because of course Ellie is not gonna die. Okay, maybe some people do think that, but if you watch a lot of TV or a lot of shows or a lot of movies, she's not gonna die. Like, they would have shown it if she would have died here. So.
My mom's also very gullible. Just putting that out
there. So here's my thought with this quote unquote cliffhanger is, 2 shows came to mind when this happened. The first was The Walking Dead. Once again, it was, who did Negan kill? Remember the whole baseball bat thing that ended up killing the show.
Yeah.
And then also at the end of the first season of South Park, they do a Who is Cartman's Mom thing.
Oh yeah.
And it ends on that. And when the next season premieres, instead of revealing it, they do an entire episode about Terrence and Phillip. Yeah. Just to fuck with the crowd. And it enraged people back when that happened. I was reading I was 8 or something when that happened. So I was just reading about it, and it pissed people off so much that because they were waiting who's Cartman's, dad or whatever. And they're going to do the same thing here where it's going to be a cutaway to that.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a whole season of Abby where everyone's like, what happened to Ellie? Like, we want to see it. And so I honestly think it was a huge mistake to do this. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe the viewers are going to be like, I want to see what Abby does and all that. But first in this season, you kill Joel, which is everyone's favorite part of the show. Everyone loves Pedro Pascal and Joel. So you kill him, and then you maybe kill who the baton was passed to, and you're not going to let us know what happened until way later in the next season. Like, it just feels like a horrible mistake that they did it this way, but I don't know.
So maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, but this scene ends in the game with Abby just letting Ellie go, right? Like, she just tells her, don't come after me, and she goes.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, so why did they just end it there? That would be way better, yeah.
Yeah, and then it could have done the effect. Yeah, well, they could have done easily her saying, like, don't come after me. Then she shoots Tommy in the head and leaves, and you're like, so she just left her alone, basically. You don't know where Dina is. She might have already killed Dina. Who knows? But then Jesse's dead because he saw the bullet in his face. He's dead. There's no coming back from that one. The St. Kingsman. And then there's... then you think Tommy's dead. So it'd be like, now she's left alone. She slaughtered everyone, and she's like, leave me alone. Get out of here.
Or maybe... I misremember. Maybe this is the part where Abby and Ellie fight for the first time, and then Dina gets injured.
They do fight, and Dina gets injured here, but it does not end with like you think Ellie's dead.
No. So maybe they should have shown that fight, I guess, but maybe that's too much. Yeah, it's that's probably how they are going to end next season, I bet, with the fight between
probably. Yeah. All right, yeah. Then we get what I think is my favorite scene, which is almost like a beat for beat recreate of the game, where it goes back to day one Seattle. Abby wakes up on the couch. Oh, Isaac's looking for you. She gets up. Oh, first it was Manny. Isaac's looking for you. She gets up. She walks out, and we're surrounded. We're in Lumen Field where the Seahawks play, and we see that. Oh, the Wolves are freaking huge, pretty mumuch bigger than Jackson. They have a whole community there. And then it flashes Seattle day one, and then, cut to credits.
Yeah, it just, man, I don't know. It just felt like I didn't mind the scene like itself, but it felt like such a horrible reveal of like Seattle day one, because it's basically telling you we're resetting the clock. You're not going to know what's happening at the end of that scene we just watched. And so it felt like it would have made, I don't know. I guess it's a way to tease the next season of saying, hey, next season's Abby, but it just, I don't know. It should have ended at the gunshot. It was, you're telling me, instead of telling the audience, like, it's like the end of season 3 of Breaking Bad when Jesse shoots Gil in the face, and you're like, it's one of the best moments in that show, and it ends with him pulling the trigger, and it just cuts to the credits, and it's like, that was such a great ending. And instead they do this one, and it cuts to black, and you're like, oh, you're expecting directed by Neil Druckmann or whatever pop up on the screen, and instead it's wake up, Abby. It's like, oh, really? So it's telling you out the gate, you're not going to know the resolution of this scene for a while, and I just feel like it's a mistake.
It's also, I think, only impactful if you've played the games. Like, who the hell cares if this happens and you haven't played the games and you see like the stadium and then Seattle day one? Who the hell cares? Like, okay,
exactly. Yeah, the
I
audience
think they're going to try to. I think they're thinking like, oh, if we prolong this, we don't tell them what it's gonna make people want to watch because they'll never know when it's gonna be revealed. It's like, well, you kind of do with the Seattle day one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the finale. Yeah. I mean, we kind of gave our overall thoughts already. We, yeah. Final thoughts?
How long do you guys think it'll take before we see the next season? Do you think it'll be another 2 years?
Optimistically, I would think. October 2026. Realistically, April or May 2027. The way HBO does things.
Jesus.
Yeah. If they're smart, it'll be by next fall. But I could see it being 2 years. I don't know.
The White Lotus season 2 was October 2022. The White Lotus season 3 was February, March 2025.
But to be fair, those are two like huge different locations and different actors. So maybe
True, I know, but
aren't those kind of anthology series?
But I guess
yeah,
I
but
I guess
still,
yeah.
well, look at the difference between the Last of Us season 1 was January 2023. This was
True.
2
Yeah.
years and 4
2 years
months,
and
4 or 5
change, yeah.
months.
And season 3 is also going to be new locations and new actors. So, oh no, well, it's Seattle, I guess. But yeah, it's new actors too, so it makes sense. I didn't think about this until I saw somebody mention this earlier today. But basically, the clickers or the infected are like not even in the show anymore. Like they were there in like the first episode or the second episode,
Oh,
and then they were
yeah.
there.
They were there. They're there a little bit. They're definitely not nearly as prevalent as the game, definitely. Or
Yeah, because the last infected they faced was those stalkers that
yeah,
Dina
Yeah.
and
it was 2 episodes ago. It was
True.
episode 6.
Yeah.
Episode 5. Episode
Yeah.
5, because we didn't get any in the flashback. Well, we
Yeah.
do get in the flashback. We do with the Eugene part.
yeah.
Oh, we just don't see them. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well,
We see one that-
it's like I
yeah.
said at the start of the season when I was kind of complaining about like the Walking Dead esque swarms that they were kind of facing in I think it was the episode you and me did, Locke, where when they kill like during Joel they have like this Walking Dead type swarm, and
Yeah.
it felt like because I remember that was a complaint of the first season too, where it's like after episode like 3 or 4 or whatever it was, like the infected weren't even part of the story.
Yeah.
And that so Neil Druckmann and whoever and Craig Mazin or whoever from HBO came out like next season's gonna have way more infected because they think that's what like makes the show good. And it's like, no, you were missing the forest for the trees. But so I think it's like so yeah, at the start of the season with the swarms and stuff, it felt like an overcorrection of there weren't enough. But then, yeah, you are right. It just once again, it just went to just the people. The infected aren't even really part of it anymore. And yeah, because Nora was really the last episode where the infected kind of played any part of the plot. So yeah, it's weird. I don't know what. I don't know.
Remember in episode 2, we saw that bloater coming towards Tommy. That was really cool. And that's when I thought, oh, they're setting up this bloater so that Ellie will have to fight it later. Like, not the same one, of course, because this one dies, but like another bloater later on. But it just doesn't come back ever. So I'm guessing, well, next season will be the Rat King, of course. They can't leave that one out. So that'll be like the big infected scene. But I wonder... Because Abby's story is also way more centered around the infected. You have way more infected in her story as well. So
well, because it's also they're also a threat to her.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, that was our finale of our little mini series reviewing each episode of The Last of Us Last of Us season 2. If you like this, we have our main episodes, like I said, that come out every other Monday. We also throw in there some extra episodes here and there. We have a really fun episode coming up this Saturday. Our last episode that aired was also featured Locke, and it was our top. It was more games we loved. It was basically our 11 through 20 top games of all time, with some amendments to our top 10. But yeah, that's all, guys. Thanks for joining us, Locke. Always a pleasure. Midnight, you were missed, and yeah, that's all, folks.
All right, bye everyone.
See ya.
Oh yeah, I gotta hit stop, don't I?
Yeah. Keep that in the